Hey there, Sarah Rosensweet here, Peaceful Parenting Coach. Today I want to talk to you about how to respond to your child's aggression and how you respond might actually be making it worse. So when I'm talking about your child's aggression, I'm talking about when your child gets angry and hits you or kicks you or throw things at you or screams in your face or spits at you or just yells at you. Anything like that I would consider aggression. If you're like most parents, you probably say, stop hitting me, don't throw things at me, stop yelling in my face. Maybe you can say it calmly, maybe you lose it a little bit, but if you're like most parents, that's what you tend to do, is you respond to the action. I want to present to you another way of looking at it that I think will really reframe things for you and give you a way more effective way to respond that actually will stop the aggression. Maybe not right the first time you use it, but if you use it over time, it will stop your child's aggression. So first of all, let's walk through a little scenario. Say you and your partner are in the kitchen. The phone rings. You answer the phone and it's some horrible news on the other line. Like you've lost your job or someone's died or some really, really bad news. You're so upset that you hang up the phone and your partner's looking at you and you can't even say what happened. Maybe you start wailing inconsolably, or maybe you look around and you pick up a stack of plates that's sitting on the counter and you smash them on the ground. So just for a minute, I want you to ask yourself, what would you like your partner to do or say? How would you like your partner to respond in that moment? Okay, do you have that in your mind? What if your partner said, hey, no throwing things, or something like, stop yelling right now? Huh? That would feel pretty awful, I bet you can imagine. That's how our kids feel when they're in some sort of great upset and hitting, kicking, spitting, throwing things, screaming, and all we do is respond to the action that they're doing. All we're doing is responding to their behavior. What you really want your partner to do if, God forbid something like that happens and you throw a stack of plates on the ground, you want your partner to say, oh my God, you're so upset. Tell me about it. What happened? Or maybe you want your partner to just say nothing and fold you in their arms. But you certainly don't want your partner to chastise you for yelling or throwing the plates. So what can you do for your child when your child is, first of all, if your child is hitting you, do the following thing while, holding them gently so that they can't hurt you. Or if your child's throwing things at you, remove yourself so that you can't get hurt. I'm not advocating that you take any sort of abuse from your child in that moment. First, you always take a moment to regulate yourself, because you can't do this if you're like super mad or upset or with your child. So just take a minute. This is an emergency. Stop, drop, and breathe, and say to your child, you are so upset. So you respond to the feeling. That's the first thing you do. You respond to the feeling. You are so mad right now. You are so upset that you're kicking me, or you are so mad that you're screaming. So you respond to the feeling. You're so upset. So generally kids respond better to you're so upset than they do to anything else. So just that can be a great catch-all phrase for you. You're so upset. And then the second thing you want to do is give them an alternative. So you're so upset you're kicking me. You don't have to kick me. I see you. I hear you. I understand how upset you are. You don't have to kick me. I will listen to your feelings. Tell me about it. So it's the equivalent of you hang up the phone and throw something and your partner says, oh my God, you're so upset. Tell me about it. What happened? I think that when we respond to our kids' behavior, that's basically saying like, I don't want to hear about your feelings. I don't care. You're upset. I mean, I know we actually do care. And we think that responding to the behavior is the way to solve the aggression. But the way to solve the aggression is to respond to the feeling, respond to what is driving the behavior. So I hope that is helpful. And probably actually at this point you're wondering, well, do I just ignore the fact that she was hitting me or kicking me or that he was, screaming in my face? Of course not. But you have to think of that behavior as a message to you. That behavior is the message that is carrying that's carrying the message of you're so upset. that your child is so angry. So over time, of course, this isn't going to be a miracle the first time you use it, or then again, it might, you might start to use this and your child will realize they don't have to kick, hit, scream to get mom or dad to understand and to know how upset I am. But over time, as you respond this way, you will find that your child doesn't need to resort to the kicking, hitting, screaming to get you to hear how upset they are. And your child already knows that the rule is no kicking, hitting, screaming, spitting, or whatever it is. Your child already knows that. And so you trying to reinforce that by, some sort of, that's a whole other ball game, talking about consequences. But if your child didn't know the rule, then of course you'd have to tell them, but your child does know the rule. Your child knows that screaming, hitting, kicking, all of that stuff is not allowed. So you really don't need to worry that you need to teach them some sort of lesson there. The lesson is the lesson is for you to understand what the feeling is that's driving the behavior. And if you would like to continue this discussion with me, you can find me in my Facebook group, Peaceful Parenting with Sarah Rosensweet. I would love you to join us. And as always, I'm here for you. So if you want to talk about something related or anything else, reach out to me for a free 20-minute consult. I will help you as much as I can in 20 minutes. And you can find the application there on my website, sarahrosensweet.com, and find me in my Facebook group, Peaceful Parenting with Sarah Rosensweet. So thank you for joining me today. Let me know how it goes. Try this. Send me an email, leave me a comment. I'd love to know how this affected you and how any changes or shifts that it made for you and your family. Thank you and have a great rest of the day.